It wasn't lighting up the go live button. There we go. Well, it's working. All right. So there we go. We are online and with no moss. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, it's sad to see somebody like him go. I really hope he comes back. I, yeah, yeah. He's such. I mean, oh yeah. Where's Londoner been? Has he been kind of a no show? Oh, okay. All right. So I just got my groceries delivered. Now I don't have to go anywhere today. Yeah. Yeah. Um. So you can't leave a loaf of bread sitting out on the table. That's just not an option. Yeah.
Or bread and bread-like products so the cat doesn't eat it. I considered getting a bread box, but we tend to go through a lot of bread, so we'll buy like, 4 loaves at a time.
In so long now, it's been sitting down here. I think it's back behind my curtain there somewhere. But we would buy so much bread that it would get buried underneath, and then a new loaf would get put on top of it, and they wouldn't look underneath the new loaf to see if there was any old bread. They would just use whatever was right on top, and then like
Right
whole
on
loaves of
top.
bread. Yeah, whole
And then
loaves
it'd
would
be
go
all
to
moldy
waste.
and stinky down in the bottom, and they just wouldn't
Yep,
care.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Turn off pulse effects here because nobody cares how much noise is in this particular. So I'm back on Mint 21. I've ended effectively my little excursion with LMDE on a SID backend. That was my little bit of insanity. I ran into weird problems with it. Just some things just didn't work. Like wine, I couldn't. There's no Wine HQ repository for SID. You've got to use one of the. You can use testing. There's a repository for testing, but I don't know. The whole point was to get updated packages, but I've made peace with flat packs and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
is the best way to get some stuff anyway.
Evidently, there's a new Snap scam going around. Going around. I haven't actually read the article yet or watched the video yet, so I don't know anything about it.
There was a guy that used some Bitcoin thing that was in the Snap store, and it basically siloed off 6 Bitcoin or something like that off of him, which is several $100,000.
Right.
And it was just all it was a simple Flutter application that was supposed to set up a wall. Why would you take unnecessary chances like that with that kind of money? It doesn't make any sense. But it was supposed to be some kind of Bitcoin thing. I can't remember
Yeah,
where I
I
heard
don't
about it.
know.
I think it was on one of
I
the.
it seems a little crazy.
Yeah. I'm not much into the crypto. I mean, I've had Bitcoin in the past, but I've not like wanted to set up,
Mm.
because to really get into it is to set aside an entire computer for it, really, to just run the
More than
wallet
that
on it.
now.
Yeah. And if you wanted to mine, you need a bunch of Nvidia
The
cards
power requirements for mining is absolutely crazy at this point. If you're
yeah,
mining Bitcoin,
to make any
it's
money at it.
unsustainable.
Because yeah, your startup costs for that to buy all those RTX cards that you would need to do all that crap with, and then build out the array and then keep it cool. I don't have a garage, so I don't know where I would put it. Put it down here,
Right
and then
where
I
you're
would,
sitting.
yeah, it would be right behind me instead of the brick wall. That would make me look like a jerk. But I'm sure people are out there that have arrays like that.
And farms. Not as much as there used to be, though. There isn't as much profit in it. They only
No.
do it when the cost of electricity and the probability of getting, enough whatever coin they're mining is in the right proportion.
Yeah, I've never even tried it to see what the potential is in it.
And the cost of cryptocurrency has been down for like 2 years now. So if it shoots back up, you'll see a lot of mining happening again. But for now, it's low. So what can you do?
I just don't have time. Barely have time to get the
Oh,
stuff
you could
done that I want to do.
trade. You could trade. You could day trade.
I mostly just used it to pay for like VPN services and stuff like that I didn't want to.
Speculate on what the cost is going to end up being. And I know some
Oh,
people that have made good money on that. But then, if the market drops out again,
yeah, the only Majid was on OTC, and that was it. Leo tried, but he couldn't get his audio to work right. I don't know what he had going on. He got it to work a couple times, but it was crackly. He's using some kind of hardware recorder thing in between the microphone and the PC. And I don't know. He said he blamed it on Video Ninja, like everybody else. When they have problems, they blame it on video.
yeah.
Okay. I was thinking. You have some days where your thinking is clear, and you're able to come up with all this fantastic stuff, and then like a day later, you can't remember a bit of it. And I was thinking about show topics uh, while I was driving up into Wisconsin, and I couldn't. I was in just enough traffic to where I couldn't like write it down or grab my phone and make note of it. But I had some ideas, and now I can't think of a single one of them. It's so irritating.
I can understand that.
Yeah, because I thought, well, what is it that people are dealing with right now? And that's kind of the problem. I mean, Linux has gotten to be usable to normal people enough that are not really trying to go outside of the boundaries of what Linux is meant to do. It's just kind of working now. And I'm not sure, like real technical stuff, how much our audience really kind of gets into that.
I like digging into the technical stuff, and there's a few of our listeners that like it, and then there's a bunch that don't. But really, no matter what we do, we're going to make somebody happy and probably piss somebody else off. So I
It's
tend
true.
not to worry about it.
Because when Jupiter Broadcasting goes off on NixOS and what are the things they talk about that I don't give a shit about? NixOS and home. What's the home thing that
Home
they use?
Assistant,
Home
Home
Assistant.
Assistant.
Yeah, I could care
Well,
less
Home
about any of
Assistant is
this.
cool.
It's cool, but I don't use it, so I don't care. I don't have any
Evening,
smart
I
plugs.
gentlemen,
hear
and Joe.
Hey,
Hey,
haha. Guess I'm a gentleman this time.
Yeah, well, I have astonishingly low standards. um,
that's all I have to say to that right there.
all right. The thing I'd say about Nix, right? As a normal user, is there any point in me dabbling my hand into
No,
those waters?
no, because these
'Cause-
people they're getting on the Knicks bandwagon, right? And then they start talking about these problems that they're having, and nobody wants to come out and say, well, maybe it's because I'm on Knicks and I'm making it do something that it's not really meant to do. I really had to cobble together something to make it work on Nix OS. But these people are absolutely adamantly refusing to blame Nix OS for any of these weird problems that they never had on Mint or Ubuntu or Fedora or whatever. That's the weird thing about
I mean,
NixOS.
does anybody actually listen to Jupiter Broadcasting anymore?
They must, because the guy's making a living at it. So
I mean,
I
I stopped listening
try.
to him a long time ago, but that's
yeah, I
me.
mean, yeah, I mean, I stopped listening a while ago as well, just because most of the time it just wasn't relevant. It was like it's like the stuff they would talk about would be just kind of like I got maybe it's because I'm not in IT, and maybe it's because I'm not actually an admin or whatever, and I'm just a lowly desktop user. Do you know what I mean? Enthusiast. I don't know, but it just seemed extremely. It was just boring. They didn't speak
Well,
about anything interesting. The adverts would go on for about 5 minutes,
yeah.
right? And it was just kind of like I've got enough stuff I can listen to, so why would I listen to
First off,
this?
I really have to force myself to listen to American podcasts now.
Well, yeah, that's because you guys are speaking a weird language, innit? You're not speaking English properly.
Well, it's because American podcasters, especially in this space, not so much on mintCast, but on many of the other popular American Linux podcasts, and I want to be as respectful as I can. They are just a bit too much on the goofy side, a bit too positive all the time, a bit too, trying to throw out snarky little comments at every single possible opportunity. And my sense of humor is just way too
I'm
dry.
starting to feel attacked here.
No, you nobody on Mintcast has ever
Yeah, some of my
been.
best friends are Americans.
I knew a guy. I had a guy. The guy that did my. He used to mow my grass. He was American, so I can't be. Whatever you.
No, you're one of the good ones.
Oh man, that's great. No, but for whatever reason, it just seems like the American Linux podcasters are just too. I mean, minutes will go by while they go back and forth with their goofy shite, and it's just like, oh my god, will you get to the point already, And these are wonderful people, though, so I'm saying this little bit of criticism with all the respect in the world, because I do respect these people, but I really have to be in the right headspace and the right mood to listen to all that, because I like to smoke and joke and give people a little bit of crap as much as anybody, but I don't know, it's just different. I'm sorry. mintCast, I can't think of anybody that's ever been on mintCast that falls in that category, though, honestly.
Oh, I joke and talk crap about just about everything. So
yeah,
I
but
figured
that's
you were
not what I'm talking
me.
about. I'm
He's
talking
talking about
the
people who are like very positive. The closest is Leo. Leo in his early days was a very, very cheery soul.
Yeah, I could almost got on with Leo, though, because he would get it out, and then because there was nobody else to feed back and forth with him on it, it would stop. It didn't go on and on and on for, endless minutes back and forth with their goofy crap, and then they laugh at every little. That's another thing. People that laugh at the shit they say. That
I mean, I laugh at my own
I
jokes
should
all the
probably
time.
stop. Oh, especially when they say something awkward to somebody, or something that they're afraid that other person is going to take the wrong
I
way.
was just kidding.
Don't kick my ass.
Yeah, don't sack me. More likely.
Learn
Yeah.
to take a joke.
Yeah,
Right.
we all know what happened when Joe Ressington worked for Jupiter Broadcasting.
Yep, L got him fired.
Oh,
did I say
God
that out
damn, it
loud?
did, didn't it? Oh, it did. I mean, it's well known, isn't it?
Yeah. Nobody's
See
ever
you
came
next
out and said
Tuesday,
it was
got him
L.
fired. I mean, I don't know, actually, to be fair as well. I don't know either as well. But I
But
mean,
she's the only one we've not
I don't
heard
have no
hide her
detail.
hair of since that day.
Mm.
She was all over the place prior to that, and then all of a sudden, nothing. So, yeah. And who else in that group of people would have taken that away? That I'm not saying the wrong way, because you can't really use that word in America.
Yeah, I mean, what was it that Winston Churchill said, that the British and Americans are people divided by a common language?
Yeah.
And it's very true. So much of language is inflection, and take the kind of cultural milieu in which it's said, and so yeah, I mean, be offended, but at the same time, don't basically.
Well, I'll pay her the compliment of believing that
Don't.
she didn't want to get him fired. I think
Well,
that she
that's the thing.
probably regrets.
That's what I'm saying. You don't, actually, cause real. Because let's be honest, a lot of this is just bullshit. It's just people on the internet saying stuff, right?
Yeah.
But some of this does have real life ramifications. He became jobless after that. He had to find another source of income. I'm sure he's got a mortgage to pay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember if that was before or after he went. He
went off on his own after that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, after that he went off on his own. But he had his stuff. He had his stuff before, which is what got him noticed, didn't it, by Jupiter Broadcasting, and that's how he ended up getting that job in the first place, because he'd been on mintCast, because he'd been, what was it, Linux Luddites, as it used to be known as, that which became Late Night Linux. But then after being sacked, he then it looks like he put everything into it, and now he's got a portfolio of podcasts. Do you know what I mean?
Well, isn't he back on Jupiter Broadcasting after they did the split from Linux Academy?
No, I think he might be doing editing, but I don't know that he's doing all of the editing. And in fact, I haven't even heard. He was editing like Linux Action News, but Linux Action News is not on right now. So I don't know if he's doing any at all. But he's got several of his own shows now. So he's doing fine.
Self-hosted?
I don't know who's doing self-hosted, if it's him or if it's it doesn't really have the hallmarks Self-hosted has
Oh, he was a
no.
guest on one episode. So.
Okay. There's no theme music
I'm trying
whatsoever
to...
on self-hosted. They just start talking, and then they've got a little like do at the end. You know, that's it.
Well, he's still listed on Jupiter Broadcasting.
Yeah. Oh, Joe is.
Yeah. If you go to their people page, page number 6, Joe Resington, UK podcaster and Foss advocate. Let me click on his. Latest episodes with Joe Resington. Linux Action News number 169, which is from 27 December 2020. So I guess maybe not.
Well, Linux Action News has been put on hiatus because of the quote ad winter, as Chris puts it. And that's why they're leaning real heavily into the podcasting 2.0 stuff, the boosts and all that. Which, by the way, a lot of people probably don't know it, but we use some podcasting 2.0 stuff. The chapters that we use is a podcasting 2.0 feature.
Oh, so talking about AI in a sort of way,
We weren't, but go ahead.
So I know we weren't, but the reason they clicked my brain is because we had used AI once to make the chapters, didn't we?
I
think we did.
I don't remember that, but
okay.
I just divided
maybe
up into the sections, the news and the innards and the wanderings and all that.
Wasn't there one that was at least partially edited by AI or something? An episode?
Oh, that was no. Well, the one Eric did, he uses that Auphonic.
Okay.
I didn't know much about it at the time, so I just
it was
called
for
it
the chapters or something, wasn't it?
Well, he used it. He put the show together, meaning that he put the tracks together, mixed it together, and then he uploaded it to Auphonic, which is actually a pretty slick service. It just costs money, and it has some AI features. He says he didn't use any of the AI features. He just used kind of the automatic. They just kind of run it through their algorithm, and it does all the normalizing and the compression and everything, and it does a fantastic job. It was the episode that was just the two of you, Joe, you and him, and the two of you sounded like you were on the exact same kit. I mean, but it also handles. You can set it up to also handle all of the ID3 tags and everything like that, which is kind of useful. But there's a few differences per episode and on the tags. I don't know. It was anyway, great, but
so that's what ticked that neuron in my head about AI.
Yeah.
So I was reading some Android blogs that were talking about the new Google Gemini, which is coming up to going to replace Google Assistant and stuff, and how it's been launched in America. So I was trying to download it on mine, set my VPN for the States and see if I could download it here in the UK. And it didn't work. But then I hadn't realized that Microsoft actually had a Copilot app powered by ChatGPT and Dolly, right? And I was like, "Ooh, let's try this then." It is nuts. I'm sorry. Firstly, by the way, I did ask my standard question, which is, "What is mintCast?" And he gave me an accurate answer for a change.
An accurate
told me all
answer.
about the. Yes, unlike that. Remember the one that the Brave one did that said that we were a crypto wallet.
Well, didn't somebody do one and it got every single one of our names wrong? I mean, where did they get the names of these people?
Okay,
we're not the only mintCast.
Yeah, let's see.
This is true.
There is another mintCast.
Let's see if it has turned up. I figured out what it is. Oh no, it hasn't. It still doesn't know what things are.
Well, there is that other mintCast, which is a political podcast. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Is it a podcast? Is it?
Yeah, I don't think they've put out anything in a while, but
Anyway,
Mintcast
but yes,
podcast on demand. Welcome to mintcast, the official Mint Press news podcast hosted by Nar Muhawesh. Mintcast is an interview podcast, news and politics,
when was their last episode?
featuring dissenting voices, independent researchers, and journalists the establishment would rather silence.
No, so it's a conspiracy theory one, is it?
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't listened to it.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's read some of these titles. Unraveling Bill Gates' Global Web of Influence with Tim Schwab. Yemen's Houthis speak to Mint Press about U.S. attacks, their blockade of Israel. South Korea and Japan emerge as key battlegrounds in the U.S. strategy against China, featuring Tim Sharrock.
What are the dates on these? What's the newest one?
February 21st, 2024 is the most recent.
Oh, no kidding.
Okay.
Wow.
The one before that is 1/30/2024.
But anyway,
Mintcast.
through this co-pilot thing, anyway, I discovered Dolly. You know, the one, the image
I've never heard of
generator.
Dolly. Okay.
You've never heard of Dolly?
No, I don't get into that stuff. But yeah.
No,
go ahead.
I mean it is pretty crazy actually. You know, you tell it something and it will make it. So like I told, make a picture of surgeons operating, and it came up. It drew a picture of it, or
that easy.
Yeah. Or another one I wrote was draw a picture of a Muslim rock star, and it managed to do that. With the guitar and all this kind of stuff. If I can find the pictures, I'll send it to you. I'll put it on the Discord. Actually,
is this a web thing that you just?
It's an app. It's run by, as I said, it's Microsoft's app. It uses GPT-4 and a couple of other things. Let me have a look. Yeah, I'll send you that photo on the Discord, and you can see. All I did literally was just say, make a picture of a Muslim rock star, and it did it, and I was impressed, very impressed.
DALL-E to OpenAI. Okay. And try DALL-E.
All right, I put it up in the general. Have a look.
You gotta log into OpenAI to use it.
Not yes and no. If you're doing just text things, you don't need to log in, but you do need to if you want the pictures, apparently.
Okay.
So,
I'm just on the website here. Okay. Yeah, you're on the app. You need to charge your battery, by the way.
It's only 40%. It's all right.
Yeah, you want to keep it between 40 and 80.
So this phone came off the charger at midnight.
That's not
and
bad.
I've been using it heavily. Exactly. It's pretty good, man.
And
I've watched S24 Ultra.
24, okay.
But do you see what I mean?
I got one, so we had to run out and get one.
Yeah. Because, I have to do whatever Joe does. Do you know what I mean? In fact, I'm going to copy his tattoo as well.
DALL-E 2 is no longer accepting.
This is my reminder. Don't be 18 in some kid's basement and be stupid and drunk.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, it's not the best drawn one, is it?
Oh, no. It's garbage.
I really want a tattoo, but my wife won't let me have one. So what I've been doing is been getting fake ones and putting them on, and then thinking that I might be able to kind of convince her. But every time she sees it, she goes, "You look so much better without them. You look so much better without them." So it's kind of like, okay, this is not working, obviously. Yeah.
Put all your fake tattoos on your face, and then get a real one like somewhere else. And then when she says something about it, be glad I didn't get one on my face.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I do have an aversion to face tattoos. I do think that anybody who's got a face tattoo really should, I don't know, be have some kind of psychiatric assessment or something. You know, just
Well,
doesn't
they'll
seem
get
to
to
be
it as soon as they
something.
get out of prison.
Woohoo!
I just asked ChatGPT, have you heard of Three Fat Truckers? Yes. Three Fat Truckers refers to a British electric music group. They were active in the late 1990s and early 2000s, known for their energetic and eclectic style that blended elements of electronic, techno, and dance music. Their tracks often featured heavy beats, catchy melodies, and playful samples, creating a distinctive sound that appealed to fans of electronic music. If you have any specific questions about the group or their music, feel free to ask. It just so happens I don't.
mintCast is a podcast created by the Linux Mint community for all users of Linux. As a community-driven podcast, it aims to involve special guests and contributors from the Linux Mint community. The show covers a variety of topics related to Linux, including news, security, privacy, and discussions about different distributions. Whether you're a seasoned Linux user or newcomer, mintCast provides valuable insights and discussions for everyone interested in the world of Linux. If you are curious, you can listen to mintCast on various platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Feel free to explore the latest episodes and join Linux Mint community in their podcast journey.
That was
That's it, man.
literally verbatim from our website.
That is brilliant, though.
Well, I mean, it is actually how the website is written. If you look at the tagline and all that.
Anyway, how are you doing, Joe? Anyway,
Well, I'm not dead yet, so
that's helpful. That means you have to pay your taxes then.
yeah, I have to do my taxes. I really don't want to.
I got mine done.
My I don't know if you read about my car.
No, I read about a trailer that you were trying to get Moss to move into.
Well, I wasn't trying to get him to move into
Amber.
it. I was seeing if it was an available option. I figured it was better than being homeless, but my dad says it's not an available option, so
Okay.
I tried.
He says he's got. Well, we probably
No,
shouldn't.
my vehicle. First of all, my vehicle's old, right? It's literally a 2002 Buick Century, right? So I have an oil leak. I got told this last time I went in and got my vehicle inspected. And they said that the oil leak was around the valve cover gasket. Okay, not that big a deal. I asked the guy how much it would be to fix that. And he says, well, the problem is if I fix that one and there's a leak somewhere else, the other leak's going to get worse. So I need time to be able to search the whole vehicle and see if there's any other leaks and fix them all at once. Yeah. So I took it back when I had time this last week while I was on vacation. I took it back. I left it there and had him inspect it to see where else it's leaking. So not only is it leaking around the valve cover gasket, it is leaking around the oil pan. And he says that the issue is in order to do the oil pan gasket, you have to remove the engine. Which, okay, you at least have to move the engine. And so his estimate was between $5,000 and $6,000 for 2 gaskets.
What?
Now I can get another used car for maybe $5,000 to $6,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I can also get a new car for roughly $29,000, give or take, maybe 30, 32, and have $300 to $400 monthly payments. I don't really want to do that, and so I still considered fixing my car, but it is a 2002, and my concern is that if I fix those 2 gaskets for $6,000 fucking dollars, excuse my language, that something else is just going to go wrong, and I'm going to have to fix that, and then something else is going to go wrong, and I might as well just get a new car.
Have you gotten under there to look and see how valid his claim that?
I've done some research online to see what other people say about it, because my driveway is a bit sloped.
Okay.
So I've done some research, and it is possible to do it without removing the engine, but you do have to either jack up the engine or get a cherry picker and lift the engine up so that the transmission is touching the top of the upper casing in order to be able to get enough room to maneuver around and drop that oil pan and replace that gasket. So is it physically possible that I could do it myself? Maybe, but I can't do it in my driveway, which means I have to do it out front, which means that the HOA is going to complain because it's not a one-day task.
Yeah. I think I would shop for another mechanic at the very
It's difficult to find the type of mechanics that you and I would think about as mechanics around here, because these rich fuckers, excuse my language again, I'm a little passionate on this, make it extremely difficult to do anything at a reasonable cost.
So,
I'm living in an area that has moved outside my means.
So in the UK, if we have issues such as this, then we would go to an ethnic minority car person.
I would too. If I were still in El Paso, I would make a phone call and there would be 3 Mexicans out in front of my house fixing my car right now. And that's not, being racist or anything. That's the literal truth.
Yeah.
I would make a phone call and some of my friends that happen to be Hispanic would show up at my house and we would be working on my car.
Yeah.
And it would cost me parts and a shit ton of beer and a whole lot of smack talk.
Pizza. Yeah.
Right? And food.
That's it. Maybe a weekend set aside. But yeah.
And then some week after that, I would have to host a barbecue.
You're looking at like
That'd be the most
$75
expensive
worth
part
of
of it.
gaskets at the most.
Yeah.
And
then maybe $150 worth of food.
Well, one thing I would not do is pay this jackass $6,000 just to replace 2 gaskets. That's just ridiculous.
Well, I understand, if you actually do have to remove the engine to do this, he was also saying that if you're removing the engine, you might as well replace a bunch of the other parts during that process. And removing the engine is, a time-consuming process. So what you're paying is that hourly. It's still an insane price, but I do understand.
Because if you remove the engine, now you've got isn't there a gasket on the bell housing and all that has to be replaced? And
well, there's the air conditioner lines, there's everything that's hooked up to the transmission, all of it, all of the gaskets essentially at that point have to get replaced except for the head gasket.
Well, and you have to get. That's a state that still does inspections.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be stopping next year, so I would get an inspection this year. But I can pass an inspection with an oil leak, as long as it's not getting into my exhaust. So as long as I don't have a head leak, it's perfectly fine. It'll still pass.
So, how much oil are you going through?
It's not an excessive amount. It's more than I would like, but it's not, like I'm putting a quart of oil in it a day or anything. So I can keep driving it for now without an issue, but it's been doing this a while, so it's been gunking up inside there. And it's going to keep gunking up inside there because I'm not getting actual oil. And this will eventually cause it to break, but I can drive it till it's dead. I mean, it's got very little resale value as it is. So it's not like I have to go and buy a car tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It still sucks. I mean, I've had that car for 20-something years. It just crossed 100,000 miles.
You had it that long and you just now crossed 100,000? My pickup, my F-150 has got 160,000.
Well, you got
the Impala's got 260,000.
Originally, this car was my wife's grandmother's, right?
Oh.
So for like the first 5-6 years, me and Jackie would drive Vaughn, her grandma, around in this vehicle and take her to different places. It was still us driving it, but it was her car, and we would take her places in it because she was really old and didn't feel comfortable driving. So then she passed away, and we got the vehicle, and it's been ours since. But at the time, I also had I had my Hyundai Elantra, which I also drove the piss out of, and it eventually, died. But I got a lot of good years out of that, and I didn't pay much for it to begin with. And I think we also had my Isuzu Rodeo in that time frame too, which I really enjoyed, but I did sell on to somebody else and ended up wrecking it. I kept that thing put together. I mean, I turned the wrench on that vehicle. What's up, Jojo? Not that I know where it is.
Okay.
You can check the metal drawer underneath the 3D printer. But for the longest time, I would switch back and forth between the Hyundai Elantra and the Buick. So one would break for some reason, and while I was fixing it, I'd drive the other one. So for long periods of time, the Buick didn't go anywhere. So yeah, it literally 20 plus years old, and it just crossed the 100,000 mile mark.
That's not bad.
You're using my heat tape?
Yep.
Evidently, I have to help find a roll of tape. All right. Oh, you found it? All right. Then I do. I'll help you find a roll of tape. It's not a big deal.
Majid, we need a topic, and Joe and I
for
are.
next week.
Yeah. Joe and I are about as useless as usual. What do you think?
Hey, I did the last topic. It was a cheesy topic, but I did it.
Which means it's my turn again, which means we're screwed.
Thank you.
Did we do audio editing?
Not really.
We
and I
have
need
done
to-
audio editing.
Okay.
We can do a
Oh.
new one because the process has changed.
If I knew Eric was going to be there, yeah. I mean, I'm all for it.
Should we
Even
do
if
that?
he said- Even if Eric says he's going to be there, you have to assume that it's entirely possible that he won't because his health is his health.
Yeah. But I mean, that's worth asking anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
He might still be willing to help with the innards, even if he's not going to be on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can make it. We can make it about audio editing, because I've got some stuff to talk about with like Audacity and a couple. One plugin that I use that Audacity doesn't come with. That's something I could talk about.
Yeah. Little on Audacity. I love Affair for the Ages.
I've made my peace with it, honestly. I don't know when they're ever going to come out with Audacity 4, which is
Build Stockholm Syndrome with Audacity.
I was going hard there for a while.
So Joe, do you know much about different Bluetooth codecs? Because I've been looking into it recently.
No, not really.
Okay.
What do you mean by Bluetooth codecs?
So
the different compressions used by the different Bluetooth types?
Yeah, because there's AAC and SBC, which are kind of standard. AAC being the one that Apple one, SBC being the one that everybody uses, but neither of them do high res audio. High res audio is LDAC, which Sony make, and aptX, which Snapdragon
HEVC
phones can do.
Basically, everything gets compressed over Bluetooth, so Bluetooth and lossless do not go together.
So the question I'm then thinking is, I'm half tempted to buy a DAC and get some good wired headphones.
Okay.
But what should I be looking for? Because I'm going to be listening through my phone. It's my phone,
right.
So obviously the S24 doesn't have a headphone jack, so I'd have to get a DAC first.
Right.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
Okay. What are you looking for? Are you looking for like studio quality? If you're
Uh,
looking for studio quality, which is a little bit more flat as opposed to bass heavy or, mid or highs heavy, then the best thing would probably be the Audio Technica, the M50s.
okay.
If you're looking for something with just like sound quality, I don't know, maybe the 99 Neos.
Okay.
99 Neos are badass. If you're looking at like bass heavy, oof. Let me see.
It doesn't have to be bass heavy.
Well,
Um,
I'm going through the options here.
mhm.
If you're looking for bass heavy, then uh Razer, your gaming at that point
Okay.
tend to have those crisp sounds while also adding in a lot of bass. So
Mm.
like your Razers, but your wired ones.
Mm.
And those are actually a little bit lower cost than something like the 99 Neos.
Okay. So I'll look at the Razer ones.
But I mean, you can go crazy on price too. I mean, you can go all the way up there if you really want to.
No. I'm just. I want to try and get good lossless um for reasonably cheap because yeah, Bluetooth is Bluetooth at the end of the day.
Well, you're doing DAC, but it doesn't sound like you're doing amp along with it.
Yeah, I didn't think about amp actually
So
for reasonably
the
cheap
99
because
Neos do a
yeah, Bluetooth
little
is
bit better
Bluetooth
with
at
a
the end
little
of the day.
extra push.
Well, you're
But
doing
sometimes your
DAC, but it doesn't
DACs
sound like
will
you're
add a
doing
little bit of extra push
amp
anyway. Along.
Hmm.
So it's something to think about.
And these are all over ears, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not in ears. If you want to go with in ears and you're looking for mostly on a budget, then I would say the Shure SE line, the SHURE
SH
SE line, SHURE.
you are yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's have a look. £802. It's the first one that comes up.
Yeah, the 215s actually sound good, and you can get those at about $100. Or you can look used and then just replace
Yeah,
the
so the
ear
215,
covers.
yeah, the 215s are about £100.
Yeah.
Um, hmm.
The SE 112s look to be wired. I don't know how good they are, but they look to be around $60.
But again, I need to buy a DAC for this, don't I?
If you want lossless, uh, yeah, probably.
Okay.
But I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know how good the SE 112s are. They look cheap,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean anything. It's still made by Shure, and I trust them to make decent headphones.
Okay. Linsold.
Like literally, I trust them to make decent headphones.
Okay. We might have to look into this then. Yeah, no, just because I was telling Bill earlier that I've been looking into all these different kinds of Bluetooth codecs and stuff because I realized that some of them are high res, some of them aren't high res, some of them only work with a Samsung phone, some of them only work with a Snapdragon chipset in an Android, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Into all these different kinds of
I've
Bluetooth
run the
codecs and stuff because I realized that
215s
some of them are
and the
high res, some of them
315s,
aren't high res, some of them
and
only work with.
I found that for long-term use, the 215s are a little bit better. The 315s just seem a little bit more prone to breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I listen to a lot more audiobooks than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I've hardly listened to any audiobooks lately, which
Yeah,
which
neither
was-
have I actually. It's been a while. I mean,
Well-
I mainly listen to podcasts normally, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
It's still a very talk-based listening experience.
I mean, I set up my own audio bookshelf server, and then I also set up an ebook server. That's interesting, but it's
You can use audio bookshelf to run your ebook server instead of having a Caliber server. You can run it all from audio bookshelf.
Really?
Yeah.
That I did not know. I got to look at that because that's probably, does the client, the Android client work for that too? Does it have a?
It should. I don't usually use it that way, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. Because what I'll use is audio bookshelf to bring the book onto my phone, and then I will use one of the text aloud apps to read the book to me.
I'm gonna have to look into that a little deeper. It's not.
So like I haven't added mine back since I did the whole rebuild. So let me see. Yeah, this is the books. Ebook. Browse.
Library.
Mount. Oh, no. Back. Oh, no. Where did I put my Caliber library?
Try to upload an ebook to it and see what it makes of it. I got one somewhere. Ooh, my BitTorrent folder is empty. That's right, I cleaned it out last week.
You stopped stealing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I see.
Let's do this another way then.
Okay. Oh, I haven't signed into Plex on this phone yet, it seems. Oh.
762D.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ मैं उसको नको बोल को
I'll have to look it up later. Yeah, because I'm using this Caliber web in a Docker container, and it's fine.
Yeah,
There's just no good clients
because,
for it.
like, there's too many things going on.
And if you use the web, that's fine, but
people aren't prepared and stuff
it doesn't
like that.
keep
Inshallah, we can plan and do it
the
properly
device
sometimes
from going dark.
in
You
the
gotta
future. Okay?
use
Maybe
like
when you're on your holiday or something like that. Okay.
caffeine mode or something like that.
Spinning mine up right now. I'm gonna check and see. But it's a fairly heavy process.
That's her parents can decide that, right? I'm not Isma's parent. I'm yours.
Hey, you might want to mute there, buddy.
There we go. It was getting a little personal.
A little heated.
Oh.
Did I do that right? Actually, you know what? It looks like now it's just books and podcasts because it used to be ebooks too.
It really just seems like Caliber is
Yeah,
the
I
only
guess
thing
Caliber's
really
it
out
now.
there. Yeah, but the clients are just not up to snuff for it, and
Well,
it
you pull
works.
it in and then you use some kind of reader, whatever reader.
Yeah, you would have to download it. So that's the solution.
But you're
I
talking about like
just
reading it online.
well, just having a client like Audio Bookshelf
Okay, okay.
where
Now, Audio Bookshelf just loaded up a bunch of my books. So let me see if I can find one. Library, clear filter. Uh, Exile. That's a good book. Oh yeah, it brought it up.
so what's it give you? Just does it have a
It's just a web page. It's a web page. I don't know about on the web or the. It's really not a lot of options either.
it would be enough for me if it just didn't let the screen go blank.
Ooh, I
If it
think
kept the
I'm.
screen awake.
I think I'm logged out of your Plex server.
Of my what? Yeah, everybody is logged out of my audio bookshelf. You'd have to resend me the information. I have to reset it up.
No,
He
not just
said
that though. I
Plex.
mean, like none of it.
What do you mean?
So like when I go on my Plex now, it's on the new phone, right?
Oh, I
Um.
think you have to re-accept my invitation because I had to resend it.
Oh, okay, fine. Let me have a look if I've still got your. Will the last invitation work, or I'll have to get another one?
If you can find it, use it. I don't know if it'll still work.
You invite to share some media. I accept the invitation. Continue.
All right, so audio editing. Um, that'll work for me. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I gotta get the editing done for OTC before I can go do anything else I want to do. I'm supposed to meet somebody for dinner tonight, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it.
Sorry, we couldn't find the
Hold on, give
server
me a
that was
second.
shared with you, apparently.
I'm gonna go ahead and jet, guys. You guys have a good
All
evening.
right, cool.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna